Students, we will be dealing with the second part of the lesson. The eyes are not here. I have stopped at a point where the blind man is able to find out. He's playing a game and he wants to find out about the looks of the girl, and he tells her that she has an interesting face, and the girl laughs at this and tells him that she's tired of people telling her that she has a pretty face. A pretty face, and this is the first time that someone tells her that she has an interesting face. And the blind man says, yes, an interesting face can also be pretty, but I was focusing more on some other features rather than just the beauty of this girl. A very safe remark. Okay, so the girl is happy talking to this man, and she tells him, you are a very gallant young man. You are a brave man. You know how to talk. Okay, and you are brave. You know how to give the right compliments to a young girl. But I find you a little serious. You are a young man and you should be more playful or enjoy life better. But I feel that you are a little serious. I thought then that I would try to laugh for her, but the thought of laughter only made me feel troubled and lonely. He didn't want to get very close to the girl. He didn't, because he felt that if he built a rapport with this girl, if he could build a friendship with this girl, when she discovered that he was blind, she would reject his friendship. And that is why he did not want to get emotionally involved with this girl in any way. It was just a meeting and a parting. Okay? He didn't want to carry on with this relationship because he felt maybe people would not accept a blind man as a friend, maybe even as a platonic relationship. And he knew that this would bring trouble. This would bring more loneliness if he tried to enjoy, laugh with the girl, build a rapport with the girl, try to establish a long-lasting friendship with the girl. Then what would happen? The minute she left the compartment, she would forget him. Or the minute she came to know that he was blind, she would pity him. He did not want such kind of a relationship. And this would only make him feel more lonely and troubled. And that is why he says he didn't want to try to make her laugh also, or to enjoy that kind of playfulness. We will soon be at your station, I said. Thank goodness it is a short journey. I can't bear to sit in a train for more than 2 or 3 hours. So she says, I don't like to travel on a long journey. This is just a 2-hour journey, and I enjoy short journeys. So, yet I was prepared to sit there for almost any length of time just to listen to her talking, such a pleasant voice, a voice which brought warmth to his heart, a voice which made him feel, which made him forget his disability. And the girl was just saying, in 2 hours I will be at my station. I'm done with this train journey. And she never bothers about what effect she has on this young man who is sitting in the train with her in the same compartment. She will just get down and go on her way, forgetting about this young man. But he says he liked the sound of her voice so much. He liked the way she was talking and the way she was looking at things around her, her attitude towards life. Something attracted him towards this girl, and he was willing to sit for any length of time listening to her voice. Why? Her voice had the sparkle of a mountain stream. It was like the flowing water. As soon as she left the train, she would forget our short, brief encounter. But it would stay with me for the rest of the journey and for some time after. This girl had really impressed the blind man. So he says, this girl, she would get off the train and then forget about this man whom she has met on this short journey. But for him, the sound of her voice, the pleasant company that he experienced, all this would remain throughout the journey, maybe because he had so many hours more to travel, or maybe throughout his life he would remember this girl. And he was feeling quite sad at the parting that was to come soon. The engine's whistle shrieked. The carriage wheels changed their sound and rhythm. So the train is slowing down. It has reached a particular station, and as a signal, the train begins to whistle. The carriage wheels changed their sound and rhythm, so he could make out that the next station was ahead in a few minutes. They would reach the station. The girl, the sound, he could make out that the girl got up and began to collect her things. As she was collecting her things, he began to wonder how she had tied her hair. I wondered if she wore her hair in a bun, or if it was plaited, or if it hung loose over her shoulders, or if it was cut very short. So he was wondering about the style, how she had styled her hair. The train drew slowly into the station. Outside, there was a shouting of porters and vendors, and a high-pitched female voice near the carriage door, which must have belonged to the girl's aunt. So he could, when they reached the station, he could hear the hustle and bustle of the people getting in, getting down, the girl standing up, though he could hear the voice of the aunt calling out to the girl. And at this moment, he was also wondering how she had styled her hair. And at that moment, the girl tells him, "Goodbye," said the girl. She was standing very close to me, so close that the perfume from her hair was tantalizing, tempting, tormenting by the sight of something desirable, but he could not touch the girl. Okay, he could not touch her her hair. Okay, and she was standing so close to him, so close to him, so close that the perfume of her hair was tantalizing, attracting him. Okay, but it was out of reach. He could not touch her hair. I wanted to raise my hand and touch her hair, but she moved away, and only the perfume still lingered where she stood. He could the girl got off the train, but the impression that she had created, the smell, the sound of her slippers, the sound of her voice, and now he's talking about the smell of the smell of her hair, the perfume. Okay, and the perfume of her hair filled the compartment. Though she was no longer in the compartment, physically present, her smell was there, lingering in the compartment, wafting through the air. You may break, he remembers a poem, you may break, you may shatter the vase if you will, but the scent of roses will linger still. The vase may break, but the perfume of the flowers will be there quite for some time. He compares her to a rose, the beauty of the rose, the smell of the sweet smelling rose. And he says, you may break everything, you may break the walls, you may break my heart, you may break this friendship, you may break this memory, but the smell of the rose, the impression that the girl has created, will remain with him always. There was some confusion in the doorway. A man getting into the compartment stammered an apology. He said sorry to someone there. There was some confusion. Then the door banged shut and the world was shut out again. The girl was gone. Now he was facing another world, another chapter of his life. This was a short phase, a 2-hour journey, which is spent with this girl, but she had left a lifelong impression on him. I returned to my berth, to his place in the train. The guard blew his whistle and we moved off. Once again, I had a game to play and a new fellow traveler. So he was going to play another game. What was another game? There was a new man who was sitting in the compartment, and he was going to play the same game with him. Hide his blindness from the new companion that he has in his compartment. The train gathered speed. The wheels took up their song. The carriage groaned and shook. I found the window and sat in front of it, staring into the daylight that was darkness for me. The train gathered speed. It was moving on. Life was moving on. The wheels took up their song. The carriage groaned and shook. And what does he do as the train moves on? As his life moves on, he goes through to the window and looks out of the window, staring into the daylight that was darkness for me. He couldn't see anything. The man who had entered the compartment broke into my memories, his thoughts. The man speaks to him first now, and he tells him, "You must be disappointed," he said. "I'm sorry I'm not as attractive a traveling companion as the one who just left. I'm sorry. I'm not so attractive and beautiful as the girl who just vacated the compartment. She was so beautiful. So you must be feeling a little lonely and sad because you have a unattractive man sitting here next to you. So maybe it's going to be very different." "Okay, she was an interesting girl," I said. "Can you tell me, did she keep her hair long or short?" "Yes, she was an interesting girl, but I have a doubt." Because he wanted to find out about the looks of the girl, isn't it? And so he asked this man, "Can you tell me, was her hair in a bun? Was it plaited? Was it long? Was it short? I just want to know. I'm curious. Can you tell me that?" "I don't remember," he said, sounding puzzled. He had not looked at her hair. He had looked at her pretty face. And he was wondering, why will anybody want to look at somebody's hair? Why is he more interested in her hair? "It was," he says, "I didn't notice her hair because I was concentrating, or my mind registered something about this girl. What did I notice? It was her eyes I noticed, and not her hair. She had beautiful eyes, but they were of no use to her. She was completely blind. Didn't you notice?" He says, "Forget about her hair. She was a beautiful girl. And the best features on her face were her eyes. She had beautiful eyes," he says. "But the saddest part was those eyes could not see. The eyes were not there. She was blind. Didn't you notice?" So he has not noticed that this man is blind, okay? And now the author must be really shocked. The storyteller, the narrator is really shocked that this girl is more smart, more capable, bold, brave than he is. She is a born fighter who is able to live with her disability, hide her disability. He was trying to do that, but she was much better than him, he feels. And that is why he is full of admiration for this girl. He is amazed at the boldness of this girl in coming to terms with her disability. So we see that the girl does not pity herself. She does not cry over her blindness, nor does this man. They have accepted their blindness. They have accepted their disabilities, that their eyes cannot see. And they interact, they try to hide the fact from each other that they are blind. And only when the girl gets off the train, he is able to learn that the girl is blind from another passenger who gets into the train. So, the beauty of the story lies in the portrayal of how these two human beings have come to terms with their disability. They have accepted life as it is, and they have learned to enjoy what life has given them rather than cry over what they have lost in their lives. So it is their willpower that is making them go on with their lives. So students, we come to the end of this lesson. The eyes are not here. I will post you the study material on your WhatsApp group. Thank you.